The Sales Perch, a weekly podcast discussing sales styles, techniques, and strategies. Today's episode, we're going to discuss the exchange principle. Super effective. Hope you use it. Hey guys, welcome to the Sales Perch with Joe Bird. I am obviously Joe Bird, your host. Super excited to talk to you about a great principle, closing skill, today's episode. As I said in the header, it's called the exchange principle. It's also known as the delighter close. Very effective. We're going to get to that. But as always, I want to start with last episode, what we talked about, how you used it in the field, how it was used on you. In my case, in my example from last week, it's how it was used on me. Being aware of these things allows you to see how they're used on you, and you can learn from them and then apply them the other way. So in this case, I had a really great meeting with somebody on a business proposition, but it was very obvious we didn't have enough time to close it. They're closing me. They're prospecting me on this particular situation. It's mutually beneficial, but they're the ones making the sale. And it was very obvious that they didn't have enough time to get this done. So the person said, look, we're coming up on time. I unfortunately only had a half hour for this meeting. I am very interested in what you're doing, and I want to be a part of it. How about tomorrow at 1? We get back together. That gives me time to put my thoughts together. We'll be more prepared, more efficient, more effective. We'll have a better relationship tomorrow at 1. Does that work? Close me on the appointment for the next day. Effectively the next day, not a week from now, 2 weeks from now, the next day, that to me says they are very interested. They wouldn't do it. They wouldn't clear the schedule for the next day if there wasn't a lot of interest. If this person had tried to force the close in this little time period, it probably would not have worked. We would have not been on all the details. We would have felt rushed. We wouldn't have felt cared for. They very wisely said, we don't have enough time. Let's kick the can to tomorrow and let's focus on this tomorrow. Super effective. So glad that happened. So glad I had last week's episode so that I could be thinking about it, was aware of it. I appreciate it in the moment. It actually makes me feel more cared for, more appreciated, more respected, and I can't wait to hopefully do business with this person. Let me know how you used it, the adjournment close out in the field, when you know that you're never going to close on the spot, whether it's personality type or whatever. Let me know how you used it to make the sale the next day or a week later or whatever it may be. So that brings us to today. Today we're going to discuss the delighter close, also known as the exchange principle. What is it? How does it work? Essentially, the exchange principle is when you're giving something up front with the exchange, the assumption that they're going to give it back to you. It's the whole concept of the first one's free, or the free sample, or the free trial, or whatever that may be, because you're giving them something of value without money for free. You're giving them something, and you hope that they see the value in it, and then they buy it from you moving forward. So we see this all the time. There's a company called Brickle. They make men's hygiene products, lotions, and things like that. I'm a big fan of their stuff. I have pretty oily skin. I break out a lot. Their stuff has been pretty awesome. It doesn't really break out. Super effective at what it does, etc. But they get you because they give you a free sample of like 30 of their products online. You pay for shipping. Well, their products are quite expensive. So the 30 products for the $5.99, $6.99, $9.99, whatever the shipping is, I have no idea. In and itself, yes, you're paying for shipping, but it's a great value. Yes, they're trial size. But if you were to buy that portion of it all, it would be quite a lot of money. It worked because I use some of their products quite consistently because I got a free sample of them. So that was the exchange principle. Here's something free. If you like it, come back and buy more. When we were in, we were in Colorado going to Red Rocks, walking down the street, there was a guy with a little tent set up and he had CBD beard oil. Well, that's kind of cool. I like CBD. I use it for my back quite a bit. I'm actually here, Lost Range. If you're watching on the video, my buddy owns Lost Range, great CBD company out of Colorado. Highly recommend their products. They're not paying me for that. Maybe they should, but they're not. Anyway, walking down the street, I believe in CBD. Here's a CBD beard oil. Oh, cool. Tell me about it. It actually generates growth and so on and so forth. Give me a free sample. I put it on. It wasn't oily. Yep, I'll buy a bottle. I don't care how much it is. I like it. I'll buy a bottle. That's the concept of the exchange principle, or the delight close. So the delight close takes the same kind of concept and puts it more into verbal versus actual giving. So it's the idea of like getting somebody buttered up or happy, or complimenting them in some way to get them in the mood of where you want them to be. Or you could obviously trade something of value that's not necessarily like, here's a free thing, but I'll go ahead and do this extra marketing for you if you agree today, or whatever it may be. But basically the idea is that you're giving them something of perceived value in order to get something back. Pretty simple concept. I hope that you use this out in the field. I want to know how you've already used it as you think about it, how you plan to use it. It's super effective. It happens to you every day, all day. You just don't even pay attention to it. It's the same thing like you go, I don't even know if they still do this, but if you go to like the Sam's Club or whatever it may be, and they have like the little samples for like the little Vienna sausages or whatever, and you're walking around, you're grabbing your samples. They're not doing that because they're nice. They're doing that because they want you to buy that product. You'll see it so many places, all over the place, all the time. It's very common practice, and it's common because it works. Please let me know how it works for you, how you use it. Thank you again so much for listening. This is the Sales Perch. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening to The Sales Perch by Joe Bird. Having sold over 1,000 houses personally in the last 12 years, in addition to running one of the top real estate teams in the state of Maryland, I am looking forward to imparting my knowledge and wisdom, as well as sitting in the trenches with you to learn alongside you.